Welcome to another tutorial done on behalf of Shock's Starcraft 2 guide. I'm your commentator Tyler, and today I will be giving you a tour of the Hyperion and showing you some of the upgrades you may or may not want to get for doing this mission, or campaign rather, on Brutal. First you have your bridge, you know it very well. You can pick missions here, you can talk to Horner, and here you can go back and do previous missions. Now, one thing to bear in mind when doing this on Brutal is you're going to have a lot of research, and it's going to be hard to acquire on some Brutal missions. On my walkthroughs, I don't really focus on them. If I can pick them up on the way, I will. If not, that's not a big deal. But you can go back and do these missions on casual, normal, or hard, and pick up the research, and it will apply to your continuing campaign. So that should help you focus on the mission. I'm not sure if that's intended, but that is how it works right now. Just make sure you finish up the mission when you're done, and it'll apply. That's pretty much it for the bridge. You obviously know about the starport. Hold on a second. That's good water. You can cycle through missions. You get backstories. You all know about this. Pick your difficulty. And yeah, it's very straightforward. Next, we're going to move to the armory. Now, I am redoing this mission from the complete beginning, so I don't have all the research options available. Later on, when I finish up the campaign, I'll go ahead and give a more comprehensive tour of the upgrades you want to get and not get. But for now, I'll just point out some simple ones and patterns. In the base section, you really want to focus on this because it's one of my favorite places to look. Bunker range isn't exactly a necessity, but it is cheap and it does help a lot. Also, increasing the size of your bunker is never a bad thing. You can fit more people in it, more firepower, and just because you have it doesn't mean you have to use it, and it's very cheap. Doing the campaign on Brutal and Hard, you're going to be attacked by air very often. And I believe the missile turret is actually one of the most underrated things in the entire game. First, let's talk about this upgrade. You gain 75 life, which is about a Marine and a half for 35,000 credits, on top of the fact it already has a huge amount of hit points. And missile turrets only cost 100 minerals in game. So just barely over 2 Marines, and obviously your turret's going to do much better against anti-air than 2 Marines would. It also doesn't take up supply. You can queue it up by an SCV worker. You can even move it forward, or you can even take missile turrets as a forward attacking platform, like I do on some missions, most notably Welcome to the Jungle. You can use that as an offensive weapon, is what I'm saying, not necessarily only as a defensive weapon. And because I like them so much, and a good portion of the air you're going to be facing will be Mutalisk, I get the Hellstorm batteries. It's not that amazing against Protoss. Zerg is where it fares better, but it is a nice upgrade, very cheap, very early on. Pretty much any upgrade in the base column, or base tab, you're definitely going to want to consider. There's another one not shown here that will deploy like robotic repair drones that put out fires and repair buildings up to half their original hit points. That's an amazing one to get because fires can actually destroy buildings. Their HP will slowly decay when you see that visual effect. So up until you get it, or even if you don't have it, make sure to keep an eye out for that if you don't already. Up on infantry, you'll notice in my videos, I'm a huge fan of Marine and Medic. I'll get Marauders and Fire Bats occasionally, but when I do, I usually get them through the Mercenary Tavern. I don't use Reapers very much. They're very micro-intensive, and Brutal is already micro-intensive. They certainly have a platform. You can definitely use them if you want, but they are going to distract you and probably reduce a little bit of your overall potential. I do get both upgrades for the Medic because the Marine Medic is the core of almost every mission I do, You can build a reactor with this one and essentially pump out Marines and medics at whatever ratio you see fit, although I prefer about 20% medic to Marine. This just increases the efficiency of the heal and the time of the heal, so efficiency and time and mana. Yeah, there we go. Obviously, the combat shield for Marine is a great choice. It gives you 10 hit points, bringing your hit points from 45 to 55. So that's a no-brainer right there. And Stim Pack, if you don't use Stim Pack because you think the 10 hit point cost for it is too much, just getting the combat shield will negate that, and then including medics with your Marines will give you such a huge edge. 50% addition to mobility and fire rate is an amazing thing. Just imagine if your car got went from going 30 miles per gallon to 45. That's essentially what you're looking at. It's a huge thing. Definitely worth the 10 hit point cost of it. In vehicles, if you do use the Goliath, and I do occasionally, this multi-lock weapon system is essentially maybe my favorite upgrade in the entire game, because it just becomes you essentially get double your value from any Goliath for the same price after paying a measly, I guess I've been going through saying all these cost 35,000 credits. That seemed very cheap. So they don't all cost 35,000 credits apparently, but they are definitely worth your investment. I do strongly urge you to think about how much you use a unit before you go ahead and get the upgrade. It may seem like these U238 rounds are a great idea for a Reaper. Excuse me. But if you don't use a Reaper, or if you don't use a Reaper, then it's a complete waste of money. Although I will say a Reaper in a bunker is a very fearsome thing. The Reapers do great damage, but their drawback is they're weak. So if you have the bunker taking the damage for the Reaper doing the damage, you are at a huge advantage. It's a very efficient bunker. Conversely, you could get the Perdition turret, I believe it's called, from the